Hello everybody, welcome back to part 2 of the Final Fantasy Tactics walkthrough. I would definitely recommend, after the initial dialogue of the game they're saving, the first battle isn't too difficult, but if you've never played the game before, it can be a bit tricky. And you could potentially lose. It's kind of tough too, but it can happen. So we're going to pick a couple of different characters here. Now we've got, I believe it's 2 male squires, a male chemist, 2 female squires, and a female chemist that you can bring into the battle. Now, I would really just pick whoever's got the most health. 2, or at least 1 chemist is probably a good idea. I don't think you really need much more healing than that. Unfortunately, if you notice here, the chemists have extremely low health, but that's okay as long as you don't like overextend them. You know, keep them in the back, and keep I guess the squires in between the enemy characters and your characters. So, so here we've got a couple of thieves that have decided to attack the Magic City Garland. My impression here, these are potentially soldiers coming home from war. I'm not 100% sure if that's correct, though. I know that happens in a couple of different areas in the game, but maybe these guys are, maybe they're not. I'm not really sure. But anyways, all right. So Delita is in this battle. He is not controllable, so he's considered a guest character, and for I believe all of the battles, I'm fairly sure that in all the battles, guest characters cannot be controlled. So just keep that in mind. They will generally try to help you out, either by attacking the enemies directly, or sometimes healing your own characters. So in this one, Delita has the ability to cast the Wish ability on your other characters. Again, that's the same ability that Ramza has. Here, I don't really know why they. Oh yeah, that's why. Okay, I was gonna say I don't know why they even bring up this little dialogue here, but the reason is to kind of show you that the Beowulfs, or I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Ramza's family name, anyway, is fairly highly respected. They're definitely wealthy, and you know, I think the term that they use in this one, or in this game, is they're nobles. So definitely a little higher up as far as position in society, and yeah, that can kind of shed a little light on his background, or at least his family's background. So Delita says basically, don't rush them, and Ramza's like, hey, dude, I know what I'm doing. Chill out. But anyway, so like I was saying, Delita, you know, having that Wish ability, if your characters get a little too low, there's a chance that he will use Wish on your characters. I would not count on that, though. I would say it's always a better idea to you know, kind of play it safe, and not necessarily count on him helping you out. And he only has so much health too, so you know, at a certain point he won't be able to keep casting Wish on you. But I guess one kind of interesting combination, though, is if you cast you can actually cast Wish back and forth between Delita and Ramza, and you'll actually get more health out of it. Obviously, every time you cast Wish, the user takes half of the damage that he's restoring to the other person, but technically you can, you know, kind of pass it back and forth, and that's kind of a cheesy little way of, you know, getting more health out of it, I suppose. And then otherwise, you can always use potions. Now, the one of the things that you need to know about the chemist is not only are they the ones that are able to use the items, but they can also throw the items. So normally, if you put that command on one of your other characters, they won't be able to throw the items, and they'll have to actually be right up next to the character that they want to use it on. Now, that gives the chemists an advantage, obviously. just due to the fact that you can throw those items from a long distance, and you don't have to necessarily be right up next to a character who is, potentially, in enemy territory. So I guess keep that in mind. Now, just the way that your characters are able to use skills from other jobs that they're not currently in, we'll kind of discuss that in a little bit. As, I mean, to be honest, it's not going to affect you for this first battle. There isn't a whole lot that you can do. Your characters are all squires, other than, I guess, your Canis, and they generally all kind of behave the same and have the same abilities. Now, you might notice your squires may have a couple of different abilities, depending on what they started with. And what I mean by that is, some of the squires will have the dash command. Now, dash is an interesting ability. I don't think dash can be counterattacked, but don't quote me on that one. I just don't remember if it actually can or not. So certain abilities, like your basic attack command, if you use that on an enemy, there's a chance that that will trigger their, like, I'll call it their reaction abilities. So, and what I mean by that is basically it's an ability that will, again, trigger off of attacks. Now, I don't believe any of my characters have that yet, and they probably won't for a little bit. But here I'm going to show you the dash command, or I think I'm going to. Maybe I won't. Nope, I guess I'm just going to use the regular attack. So if this enemy had any sort of counter attack ability, they would have used it. Although, if you notice there, my character did kind of a bit of a knockback. So there was actually a chance that even if that enemy didn't have some sort of a reactionary type attack, they wouldn't have been able to, because I knocked them away from me anyway. So so keep that in mind. There are knockback abilities. I know dash has got a decent chance of knocking an enemy back. So if that's something that you need to do, you need to get an enemy away, and you don't want to necessarily be there. And there's a lot of kind of intricacies that go along with that. Basically, if you knock a character away from you, that means on their next turn, if they want to attack you, they actually have to approach you first. So that would use up that character's movement, and then again, like I said, they'd have to actually attack. Whereas if if they end their turn right next to you, they could actually attack you and then move after. So again, there's kind of some interesting ins and outs to the combat system that may not be readily apparent, but that's the kind of stuff that you'll learn over time. And to be completely honest, this first battle isn't too difficult. If you noticed, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to stick on this chemist with Ramza, because if you kind of just let him sit back, he'll just keep healing. The computer, I guess, or the AI has like infinite items. So, if you let him, he'll just keep using potions over and over and over, and they'll never run out. So you can actually use that to your advantage, though, as well. And again, that'll I guess I'll talk about that at some point. And basically, what you can do then is I would say farm those characters for experience as well as job points, and that will be very important. That kind of information is going to be really useful to have, because in order to kind of progress your characters, you're going to need to, there's basically two types of progression, and that's just the basic level of the character, and then the second is the job level. Now, having a higher character level doesn't actually really mean a whole lot, to be completely honest, in this game. There's I think if I remember correctly, they might gain stats, or if I'm fairly certain that they gain stats based on their current job as they level. So the more that you level in a certain job, there's potential benefits to that. Now, that being said, though, I would almost argue that the more important thing to know is that the job level changes as well. Now, different job levels are going to unlock different jobs, and again, I'll do a full, I guess, walkthrough on that. But I guess as we're going here, it's probably okay to point that kind of stuff out. For the most part here, though, we're just brawling straight up, regular attacks for the most part. Now, some of the characters do have the ability to throw stone. Now, that is a Squire ability, and it's basically a very, very small damaging ranged attack. Now, that's useful for a couple of reasons. Number one, it is ranged, so you don't have to be right up next to a character to use it. Unfortunately, though, it means that it's going to do very little damage. Now, there, Delita is using Wish, and you can see there, he healed my character for 22 damage, but he took 11 damage from that. And that's just kind of how Wish works. Now here, I think I'm going to show you guys here how to obtain, or what happens when you obtain a crystal. So if you notice there, that was a human enemy that we defeated. And then after a certain amount of turns, it's usually like 3 turns, that character will turn into a crystal. Now, the amount of time that it actually takes to turn to crystal is actually based on that character's speed stat. The faster your speed is, the faster that character will turn into a crystal. That's very important to know, because especially for someone like Ramza, who I use a lot of speed on, it actually can get extremely dangerous because your characters won't have as much time to react to getting him back alive. Now, why is that important? Well, any of your like regular characters, like these Squires here, it doesn't actually matter if they die and leave behind a crystal. Well, I say that as that sounds so heartless. It does matter in that you don't want to have your characters constantly dying because you lose them forever. And so any amount of job points that character earned, experience, all that stuff is completely lost if you die. Now, on the other hand, though, if they do turn to a crystal, there's a chance that you can acquire their abilities when they passed on. So that isn't all that useful, I would say, for your characters, but it's more useful for when you defeat NPCs, because again, you don't really want your characters to die, and then then inherit their abilities, because those are team members that you put a lot of time and effort into. So you really don't want to do that. Whereas the NPCs, if they pass away and leave a crystal, you might as well inherit their crystal and their abilities. So here Ramza says, why do you continue to commit acts of robbery? Why didn't you just lead an honest life? And that's a very important question. Obviously, Ramza is going to learn a lot, I would say, throughout the game. And the answer to that question, will be learned, I would say, as the story progresses and as he, I would almost say, matures. But that was the first battle there. We got some basic rewards. I think I get a mithril knife and like 2,000 gold, which that kind of stuff is nice. I don't know if every single battle's got actually set rewards. I kind of feel like it does, other than maybe if it's like a random encounter. So basically there's 2 different types of encounters in this game, and then one of them is random encounters and the other, I would say, is storyline encounters. And here I'm going to show you guys the rumors. You want to go to bars every once in a while and check out the rumors there. They'll give you a little bit of information on what's going on in the game. So the Death Corps, we're going to hear about them more in a little bit. And then here, what is this? Clapstat, Prince Orinus' birthday celebration. It sounds like the king maybe isn't doing so well. And then the 50-year war. I'm not going to read through all of this. If that's something that you're interested in, again, do a little reading here and kind of familiarize yourself. Basically, I would say that there's just so many different factions in this game that it's hard to keep everything straight. And not only factions, but characters. There's a ton of characters that you can kind of play roles throughout the story, and it's interesting to delve into the different relationships and how they have affected the game's, I would say, the game's politics. And again, it's really interesting stuff. And like I said, it's actually a really great game, storyline wise. Yeah, some of it can be a bit hard to keep track of at all times. And I'll be completely honest, I've played through the game quite a few times, and there's still a lot of these characters that I would say play kind of like lesser roles, but I don't always, or I'm not able to keep all of it straight. But the major stuff as we progress through the game, I will be pointing out. So as far as rumors, some of the rumors can actually will have an impact on the game. The more important ones I will point out, as there are a couple of them that actually result in the ability to not only recruit characters, but also some of the rumors will open up new places on the map for you, and allow you to obtain some pretty cool stuff. So once we actually get there, I will point those out. One thing I want to mention here, what I'm going to actually do here is remove basically all of the equipment from any of the squires that have come with us, and I'm actually just going to kick them out of my party. I tend to, at the beginning of the game anyway, recruit up a bunch of new characters and customize them. The reason for doing so is I don't like the abilities that the initial squires have, and I kind of just like to have a clean slate. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. I'm not sure if you'll actually see me kicking them out of my party and hiring new ones or not. That might be something that I have to do a guide for in the next couple videos. But again, that is the reason why I do that. I don't like the fact that the basic characters that they start you with, some of them have throw stones, some of them have dash. I don't like them having those abilities right off the bat. And again, I will do a little guide and tell you exactly why that is. And I'll be honest, I recommend hiring new characters and not starting out with the basic ones. So again, I would say stay tuned for a video. Maybe I'll throw that in next. I think that's useful information to have. And if not, though, if you don't want to spend the money to do it, you don't have to. And especially if you like those abilities, if you want your character if you want your characters to have throw stone, dash, that sort of thing, then just leave them and continue on your way. And then you can actually excuse me, spend your money on other things like new and upgraded equipment, as well as you can buy more potions. That's actually pretty important for this point in the game. We are severely limited on what we actually have. So anyways, I am going to cut the commentary here. I hope this guide was helpful, and hope you join me for more videos. Alright, thanks for watching.